Okay, this is the first of my political rants. Um, I think this first one's just basically going to be about, hey, America, you need to vote Ron Paul into office. And I know there's a lot of people already going like, joke, what a joke, those crazy Tea Partiers. By the way, okay, since this is a rant, I can go anywhere. Since I said Tea Partiers, there's a big difference in some Tea Partiers and others. There's the Tea Partiers who are economically conservative and socially liberal, the smart ones, and then they are the ones that are trapped in crazy ideologies which make them hate gays and are afraid of Muslims and make them compromise the entire basis of their religion, which is Jesus, which is, love thy neighbor, turn the other cheek. I mean, it's a big old hypocrisy that I see in Christianity nowadays. But keeping going with Ron Paul is people don't understand him, I don't think. I mean, I would consider myself a Democrat at one point when I was like 20, because, it seemed like a good idea. Yeah, everyone should get health care. Why don't we do that? Stupid insurance companies trying to rip us off. Not that they're not. I mean, I'm not trying to say insurance companies are angels or anything, or that the private sector is a perfect system. What I am saying, though, is that the way, let's just say how a liberal would attack Ron Paul. He's apocalyptically bad in a liberal's perspective, which is actually not true. I think he's really good for America. I mean, liberals, this is your problem. This is your problem. You act on the federal level. That's the problem. If you didn't try to get all your stuff done on the federal level and focus locally in your communities and stuff, you could get some pretty crazy things going. I bet you could get a neighborhood co-op or something for people who, if you're in a low-income area, get everyone's funds together, maybe work something out with the state, do something locally that's legal. Not unconstitutional. I would have no problem with that. Let's experiment. Let's try new things. That's what the states are for, to have 50 different little cultures of experimentation. Things don't work well here, things work here. You can shift and move things around. But when you go to the federal government, so we want broad sweeping healthcare reform, or free healthcare for everybody. Okay, or public option or something. You're taking funds from all these different states and giving them people and giving it to this lump thing. It gets plopped there. It's out of the economy. It's not circulating currency anymore. It's in the federal government, this giant hub of power that we've created. I'm in California, so it's the other side of the nation for me. I can't just go over there and protest on the lawns. I'm sure if Washington, D.C., if our country was the size of England, this would be a big problem because people would be driving down there, flying, doing what they got to do. You'd have millions in front of the, whatever they have in England for the palace or whatnot. But I'm saying that's the point. The federal government is an isolated hub meant to manage the borders, currency, and warfare. Okay? And the warfare part was really stipulated. I remember. This is just basic high school civil science or whatever. Like, we learned the checks and balances of the thing. You have to go to the Congress to declare a war. But now after, Vietnam and stuff, we got the War Powers Act now, which makes it so our government doesn't even need to... we just don't call it wars. We do call it wars, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they're undeclared anymore. It's a power structure gone out of control. We didn't want a king, and that's what we're making right now. We're making a king out of the executive branch. I don't believe Obama. I'm not an extreme hater on Obama. I just think he's woefully wrong about his way of going about things. He shouldn't be trying to do healthcare on the federal level. Do it on the state levels. Let's get these states going. Hey, and you know what? If you can't get enough people who want to give their money to do it, then maybe it's not economically viable. Okay? And I don't mean economically in the sense that, obviously it's money-wise it's not viable, but I'm not a whole believer in money itself either. I think that we should have other forms of economies. Some that aren't so competitive and stuff. Um, that's for some philosophers and some really smart people to try to think about and figure out what's the best way for a human to exist. But acting locally is basically my main thread here for liberals. You need to start doing it. But guess what? You ain't doing it in the federal level. Look what the federal government looks like today. You got your Obama, who put through his healthcare thing, and it's a sham, gutted by special interests. It seems to me Obama is a power broker. He just, goes like, okay, I don't think he really knows what to do, okay? That's my opinion. You can think what you want. And I understand the liberal perspective of like, it's like, okay, fine, Obama's not that great, but I'm not. This guy believes in planets in the skies or right-wing Christians and stuff. Okay, Mormonism and stuff, that's just the silliest goddamn religion ever. If it turns out they're right, well, that'd be pretty hilarious, wouldn't it? Look, Ron Paul. Research Ron Paul. If you're not doing it, then you don't get what's going on. Constitutionally, economically, the Fed. It's so funny how liberals are all like, turning a thing into a private government thing will make it more ethical and better and stuff. Well, and they're all about it. But when you talk about, hey, well, how about we make the Federal Reserve public and transparent and whatnot? No one in the federal government's doing that except for Ron Paul. Guess why? Because they're all cowards or they don't get how it works. Okay? The Fed is a private corporation. Private. Meaning people are making profit off of it. The Federal Reserve got a little bit of an audit, and we found out like $15 trillion were sent to banks to bail them out. 0 interest. Just money. You know what that does? It floods the market. Your grandma's savings is fucked. It's a taxation. Inflation is a taxation, and they control our currency, which is the most, That's probably why all this stuff is the problem. I bet if you really think about it, I think the Fed is the biggest problem here. And liberals, this basically is a message to liberals. I just want to have a conversation with them because it feels like they're just going down the wrong track. And they don't have a healthy distrust for power structures. I like their enthusiasm, what they're trying to do, and their perspective is just incorrect, is my opinion. Like, their wants aren't, bad. What's bad about trying to, help your neighbors and, make a better world and cleaner environment? That's something I'm all about. I'm way more actually concerned about the environment than I am concerned about gay marriage or anything. It's the silliest topic ever. It should just be legal. The fact that we're even having a debate about it is retarded. It shows the state of intellectual decline in our country. All right, now I'm okay. Well, fuck. That was okay rant, right? Go back, get another rant going.